terror wears in us. Our courage never fails. Draw water from my well, I'm purified. Burning on my brain, each chemical. Never been afraid, I'm terrified now. I have the fear as an antidote. Gotta raise my blade up, gotta raise a break, break, break all the fetters and the chains. I see my mind's eye blind to the days. Take, take what they never give away. I find the peace at the price of the pain. Dead eyes go blind in a million sockets. This life's unkind and she's killing the softest. Can't sleep at night cause the voices are talking about something I wrote. I'm clutching my throat, gasping for air, I won't choke. I can't bleed, I can't die, I won't scream if I lose everything. Don't follow the flash, approval, decrypt a bloody knuckle till I break out the sarcophagus. This terror wears in us. Our courage never fails. Draw water from my well, I'm purified. Burning on my brain, each chemical. Never been afraid, I'm terrified now. I have the fear as an antidote. Gotta raise my blade up, gotta raise a break, break, break all the fetters and the chains. I see my mind's eye blind to the days. Take, take what they never give away. I find the peace at the price of the pain. Burning on my brain, each chemical. Never been afraid, I'm terrified now. I have the fear as an antidote. Gotta raise my blade up, gotta raise a break, break, break all the fetters and the chains. I see my mind's eye blind to the days. Take, take what they never give away. I find the peace at the price of the pain. White heart for the saddest. I break bread with the guilt and the damage I did. Get the cards all on the chromatic, yeah. I find the grace at the cost of a limb. Tear the bone from the breakage. Caught up in a lockjaw, but then they couldn't save us. And like a sword that's been forged in the furnace, I need the hate to refine my purpose. This terror wears in us. Our courage never fails. Draw water from my well, I'm purified. Burning on my brain, each chemical. Never been afraid, I'm terrified now. I have the fear as an antidote. Gotta raise my blade up, gotta raise a break, break, break all the fetters and the chains. I see my mind's eye blind to the days. Take, take what they never give away. I find the peace at the price of the pain. Dead eyes go blind in a million sockets. This life's unkind and she's killing the softest. Can't sleep at night cause the voices are talking about something I wrote. I'm clutching my throat, gasping for air, I won't choke. I can't bleed, I can't die, I won't scream if I lose everything. Don't follow the flash, approval, decrypt a bloody knuckle till I break out the sarcophagus. This terror wears in us. Our courage never fails. Draw water from my well, I'm purified. Burning on my brain, each chemical. Never been afraid, I'm terrified now. I have the fear as an antidote. Gotta raise my blade up, gotta raise a break, break, break all the fetters and the chains. I see my mind's eye blind
And we are live. Hello, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there. We appreciate you waiting for us because we are here live in living color for another exciting episode of the iconic review of Honor, otherwise known as the Bro, your weekly Ring of Honor review show here on the BC WrestlePod conglomeration syndicate network internet thing that we got going on. We are pretty much anywhere and
How many
everywhere.
words are you gonna throw out there, Mikey?
Hey, you know what? I can't. I can say the words, I promise. But I am not alone this week. As always, is my other co-conspirator and my host this time, Mr. Man, you just keep going with all the food names. I love it. Mr. Bruno
Sammartino.
himself, Jesse. How you doing, my friend?
I'm starting to scrape the bottom. I need to get some fresh ideas for the food puns. Some of them are just like too on the nose. That goes between Hulk Hogan, but I don't want to call attention to that person. And then what was the other one? You know what? It's gone, so I'll have to come back to it if I remember it. Oh, John Bradshaw Lay's potato chips. So I'm starting to run out here. I got to get some fresh material.
For those of you that are watching, let us know in the comments below. Give us some very fun food-related wrestling puns in the name. So Jesse can use them. Before we get started, of course, immediately, shout out to the homie, friend to the channel, Nick. I was just on his stuff not too long ago.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Dr. Nick. No, but shout out to Nick for always supporting us here at BC WrestlePod. I had a great time with you earlier today, and thank you for checking us out. So, a little bit of housekeeping before we get into this episode of Ring of Honor this week. You can follow us all over the social medias at BC WrestlePod. We pretty much are anywhere and everywhere. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have a Patreon. We have a Venmo. We have a Cash App. We have merch. We have a Twitch channel. We have a YouTube channel. And that is a lot of places to go find us and follow us. So,
and you're working on that fans only website, right, Mikey?
No comment. Shh. That's if we are in dire need. So, Jesse, get ready because we might be needing some stuff later. Sell the beard pics. Okay. Anyways, no. But if you're like, Mikey, Jesse, that's a lot of places to follow. Where can I find all these things neatly organized into one place? I am glad you asked, random person on the internet, because you can download the Next Level app and follow us on all things wrestling there, where we have all our social medias and links to various websites. Shout out to the boys of Next Level for continuing to partner with us. About a couple weeks ago, I had a fun time partnering up with them and the rest of the, Next Level wrestling fandom to give away a free custom belt of anyone's choosing. So it was a lot of fun. It was fantastic. They always support us. So shout out to them. All right. Now that we got that out of the way. All righty. So this was also a long episode of Ring of Honor. So so I can safely say we have found ourselves back in the land of an hour and 45 to 2 hours. Episodes of ROH. I will say, I don't know what I was on last night because I was actually enjoying the majority of Ring of Honor last night. I was like, I'm interested to hear Jesse's thoughts on some of these things, but we are here to review Honor Club episode 86. But before we jump straight into everything, Mr. Sammartino, yourself, hands in. We need to do the Code of Honor. Shake
observe
on it.
The code of honor.
Yep, observe the code of honor. We shake upon it, and then we jump in. So before we get into all the action, Honor Club opens up this week's with a tribute to Joe. I want to make sure I pronounce this right. Kioff, who is part of the original ROH brand that has ran for who knows how long, but was very integral in doing so. Lots of current ROH talent. Maria Canella's also posted about it on her own social medias about it. So, legendary wrestling booker and figure in the professional wrestling scene, especially for Ring of Honor, but just in wrestling in general. And then after this, we jump into everything because Ian and Caprice welcome us to another episode of ROH. We kick things off with a backstage promo for Mark Briscoe, who is about to drop the hottest Dr. Seuss book you have ever seen. Mark Briscoe, as much as problems we have with his consistency of being on ROH television, this man is just chaos incarnate. And I never know what he is going to say. I, for one, thought this was stupid, but I enjoyed it as well. I'm just like, Mark Briscoe, I can't hate you. I really can't.
As a fellow agent of chaos, I liked this promo because it was so stupid. It was stupid in the right kind of way for me. Like, I enjoyed it. I went into this trying to have some fun with it. I know our compatriot JVL will probably bash me about that, but I tried to have some fun with this. So, the promo was what it was always going to be, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, this comes off of Briscoe retaining his ROH World Championship against Chris Jericho at Wrestle Dream. Thankfully, but we're not quite done with it yet, unfortunately, which we'll talk about when we get to Mr. Jericho later in the episode. But we finally get to our first match of the evening, which was a tag team match. Essentially, it was a squash match, but we had SAP, Spanish Announce Project, the team of Angelico and Serpentico, taking on the team of Derek Dillinger and Ren Jones. So Derek and Ren we have seen on some numerous occasions here in ROH. But as soon as I saw these two, I was like, yeah, SAP is about to win this thing. And sure enough, they did. I thought the match was fun as a squash match can get. But of course, we had the La Cruceta from Angelico on to Ren Jones for the win. SAP picks up a victory here. Jesse, our first match of the evening. How do we feel about this one?
I knew SAP was going to win. I enjoyed the journey to get there. All four of them looked really good in this match. I don't know. I'm overloaded with squash matches. It seems to be the ROH kind of formula anymore, and it's getting a little formulaic for me. I know I mentioned that probably 30 or 40 episodes ago by now. And the most of this night, the front half was all squash matches. So, but I mean, the match itself was good. I'm tired of squash matches.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I like SAP, but I want them to do something more solid in terms of storytelling and feuding.
And Ring of Honor is just lousy with good tag teams. I mean, lousy in the amount of good tag teams there that we don't really need to be doing tag squash matches.
We really don't. I mean, we have enough tag teams for, things to happen, but we digress here. So then we cut backstage to our first backstage segment of the evening, like full formal, because Lexi Nair is interviewing Rachel Ellering, who, shout out to her and her jacket. I need to figure out where she got it because I loved it. But Lexi Nair is interviewing Rachel Ellering, and who is she interrupted by? Everybody's favorite psychopath in a weird way. Miss Harley Cameron comes in and interrupts. She says that she wanted to have a friendship with Rachel Ellering before, and, she's like, you know what? We're going to hug this out. So Ellering is sandwiched with Lexi Nair and a Harley Cameron hug. And as Harley begins to leave, Rachel's like, that girl is something. And Lexi's like, yeah, that's the word I use.
Lexi's face during the attempted hug made this whole backstage segment. Again, it was silly, but it was fun. I'm excited to see Rachel Ellering. I'm excited to see Harley Cameron. And, I'm glad. Hopefully she sticks around the Ring of Honor because they could really use somebody like that there.
Harley would be fantastic, and I don't know if she would feud with Rachel or team up with Rachel, but I need these two to continue to interact because I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
Harley and Billy.
Oh, yes. Harley and Billy would be fantastic as well. Like, Harley's just the perfect kind of crazy where anybody can be like, yeah, she's kind of crazy, but for some reason, I kind of dig her as a friend. Like, Harley's that crazy friend we all have. That was just like, we're not sure how to explain their behavior, but we know we want them on our side rather than against us when things go down.
It's like they're a friend, not because we have similar interests or we love them, but we're more afraid to tell them that we don't want them here.
Which is in a weird dichotomy. It's just like, they're kind of weirding us out, but it's their weirdness that we're kind of like, we dig the vibe. Like,
that's what I love about it, yeah.
And hopefully this is what we get with Rachel and Harley moving forward in ROH. I love this. This was a silly, like you said, Jesse, but it was fun. Which then leads us into our next match of the evening, which, representing, the Japanese strong tile and the new
Magic Girl coming back.
Yep. I love this. So we had Yuka Sakazaki taking on Viva Van of the New Japan Dojo. Listen, Viva like doing like the Exorcist, like stand up after dodging Yuka was so much fun to watch. Viva is also been here, is not a stranger to Ring of Honor, as she's been here before. Yuka continues to be fantastic. Yuka Sakazaki does pick up the victory by using the Magic Girl Splash, as I learned that's what the finisher is called. Because Yuka Sakazaki is a magical anime girl, you guys. Like, didn't you know that?
I actually did. I'm a big fan of Yuka Sakazaki. I was happy to see them both. I was happy to see Viva Van because while she always seems to be used in kind of the women's enhancement or women's squash matches, she's always a great showing. I was very happy with this match. Again, like most women's matches, I wanted it to go a little bit longer, but I was very happy with this overall. I know I complained about it being all squash matches in the front, which it very much is. This was a really good one.
I really enjoyed this so much and I loved it. And you know what? I want Yuka to stick around because Yuka's fantastic. From here, we get another, post Wrestle Dream promo, this time from the Swolverine himself, Mr. Brian Cage, who, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch Wrestle Dream or follow any of the recaps we did, but Brian Cage is your new ROH World Television Champion, which had me super excited. It sucks. I love this match between him and Atlantis Jr. on 0 Hour. Brian Cage cuts this amazing promo. It's so much fun. He said, now we are in the age of Cage, and I need that on a t-shirt immediately, Jesse.
It was a good promo. I'm so happy that he's the new champion that I won't even spend too much time complaining about the fact the title change didn't happen on ROH. Let's say it wants to move on, but I am ready for the age of Cage.
I am ready for the age of the Cage. It is going to be fantastic. I'm just happy that we have a new champion, so this is going to be great. From here, we do get into a string of matches. So let's go through the first one. Nick Wayne taking on Brian Cook with Mama Wayne out there. So, I mean, it's a squash match. I personally like Nick Wayne. I think he's great. But he ends up picking up the victory by using the Wayne's World. And I'm going to say it like that every single time. You can't tell me nothing. Jesse, how do we feel about Nick Wayne versus Brian Cook?
Well, I can't tell you anything. You don't listen anyway. I'm impressed by Nick Wayne because he's so good being so young. But aside from that, I don't know. I'm not really invested in him because I don't know what's going on with him outside of the whole patriarchy storyline, which I don't even know how long ago that ended with him. So it's just like, oh, he's back. Cool. If he makes himself more of a presence on Ring of Honor, I will be happy to eat my words. But as of right now, it just seemed like, oh, well, he needs something to do this week. We're paying him, and same with his mom. So throw him on that show.
Absolutely. And we wasted no time because I need to take a moment. I don't care. This was a squash match. I do not care because I care because this was fun, but I don't care what you say because anytime we get MXM Collection on our screen, it is going to be a great time. And that is exactly what this was because MXM Collection was here and they took on the Midnight Heat, which was Ricky Gibson and Eddie Pearl. MXM Collection is just so good at what they do. I love Mansoor and Mason Madden. I love those two so much. MXM Collection picks up the victory here with the centerfold on Eddie Pearl. Jesse, talk to me about this. How do we feel about MXM Collection versus Midnight Heat?
The more I see Midnight Heat, the more I like them. I really do. I like MXM Collection. I've already been sold on them. I like watching Midnight Heat. I would like to see more of them. I understand this was a squash match for them. But every time I see them, it kind of reminds me of a crossover of Harlem Heat, which is probably where they got the name, mixed with when Eddie and Chavo teamed up. We lie, we cheat, we steal, that whole line. It seems like a cross between those two tag teams, and I enjoy it for that reason.
I do too, and I'm just like...
So, yes, MXM Collection, happy. I know they're mainly an AEW stay, not so much ROH, but hey, give me more Midnight Heat.
Oh yeah. I'm there with you, Jesse. I'm digging Midnight Heat, and I would love for them to continue to show up on ROH. And I would love them to be utilized because I think they're a great tag team. And of course, there's nothing to say about MXM Collection. They are just amazing. We love them, and they pick up a victory here. And then we just kept going because honestly, then we get a really fun match and one of my favorites of the evening, where not necessarily my match of the night per se, but definitely up there. We have AR Fox, friend to the channel. We love AR Fox here at BC Wrestle Pod. We got to interview him at New Jersey Wrestle Show back in May. He is such a great dude, and I am still grateful for the time he gave us despite everything that was going on that day with him and what was going down.
Yeah,
but
he had a rough day too. So
he
constant
did.
gentleman, always a fan of AR Fox.
Exactly. But AR is taking on one of our other personal favorites in ROH, and it's been a long while since we've seen him grace our screens. But AR Fox takes on one of our personal favorites and Jack Cartwheel himself. This was such a fun match. I love AR. I love Jack Cartwheel. And AR gets the victory here. I was so happy. I love Jack Cartwheel, but I'm so happy that AR Fox got the victory here with the 450 splash. Jesse, two of our faves collided in this match. How did we feel about this one?
I love this match. This was it's up there with my match of the night. Both fantastic talents. It was fast. It was fluid. They had a couple spots where it seemed a little bumpy, but not so much that it detracted from the overall of the match. And I'm happy AR Fox got a win here. I'd like more Jack Cartwheel. I'd like to see him show up more consistently, and hopefully he will now that he's kind of back on the show, at least was for this week. So yeah, I'm overall very happy with the match.
I agree with you too. Now, of course, I get to see Jack a little bit more because he also spends his time between ROH and GCW because he's also on GCW shows as well, which they're very entertaining. But this was a really fun match. I love this one. And then we just keep rolling because then we had everybody's favorite John Cruz taking on Atlantis Jr. And I have to say, this was actually a lot of fun as well. John Cruz can do no wrong in my eyes.
John Cruz, he's the best. But my concern around this, which is, yeah, the match was fun, but I'm going into the logistics of it. Like, yeah, he was just our Ring of Honor champion, but he's a stalwart in CMLL. Why is he here wrestling again?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because if you're trying to push the crossover, the branching out, or go check out CMLL, there's got to be other talents they can use, and they've got to call to it more often.
Yeah, that's very true. And of course, there's something to be said that when a champion loses, that we want, not to say that they have to stay off television, but give them a couple weeks to kind of like in storyline be like, hey, I just lost a championship. This is going to take a bit for me to get over because this one hurts. But again, what sucks is because this is pre-taped, so Atlantis Jr. just barely lost the title to Brian Cage this past weekend at Wrestle Dream, and this is probably like 2.5 weeks ago or whatever, which
so he probably still had the title at this point.
Yeah, he probably still has the title at this point. He just didn't bring it out because of continuity purposes. I'm telling you, Ring of Honor, just look at TNA's model of pre-tape stuff. There's a way to do it and still be, keeping up to date with what's going down. So, what are we gonna do? But Atlantis Jr. picks up the victory here, which then leads us into, and Ian and Caprice made sure to tell us that this is a #1 contenders match to be the first person to face Brian Cage for the World Television Championship, because we have Commander, who is being accompanied by one of my personal favorite folks in the managerial valet role in Mr. Alex Abrahantes, taking on one of my other personal favorites and Willie Mack. I love me the Mac Attack. I love him so much, and I am so happy that he is back here in ROH. And honest, Jesse, I actually really like this match, and I'm gonna be real. This is probably my match of the evening. I don't care. I had a great time with this one.
This was my match of the night over the past 3 weeks. I love this match. I love Willie Mack so much. Commander is always great in the ring, and they play off each other really well, because you expect Willie Mack, oh, he's a big dude, like it'll be the high flyer versus the giant. But then Willie Mack's like, no, we're not doing that, and just matches Commander almost step for step and speed for speed.
I'm just look, I love Commander. I think he's fantastic, but y'all people need to stop sleeping on Willie Mack because
I
he
wanted Willie
is
Mack to win this. I was disappointed he lost.
I know I love Commander, but I was like, as much as I was rooting for Commander, I was like, yeah, I want to see Willie Mack. Willie Mack versus Brian Cage would be fantastic, honestly. I am a little sad that Willie did not win, but hey, you know what? I think honestly, I'm gonna be real because I know Brian Cage works very well with luchadors and the luchador style. Because lest we forget, I point to Brian Cage and Lucha Underground, in which that is all he really worked with, and so Big Man can work with luchadors because he is also kind of a big luchador himself. He does have the hops and he can do crazy stuff as well. But definitely, this was my match of the night. Commander gets a future title shot for Brian Cage's title at some point. Who knows if we're going to see it next week or anytime soon, but we're going to have to wait. All right, so I don't want to talk about this, but we have to, because this is where we get the second half of our opening promo for Mark Briscoe, because now we see Renee Paquette, one of our personal favorites, media hosts alongside Lexi Nair. She is backstage interviewing the Learning Tree. Hi, guys. Chris Jericho. I will never be angry. I will never stop being angry now when anybody says hi, guys, because it has been ruined for me, which is kind of crazy. But Chris Jericho says that, you know, because on Dynamite, we are getting one more match between Chris Jericho and Mark Briscoe for the ROH Championship. This time it is going to be in a ladder war, which is a ladder match for this thing. And I'm just like, I swear to God, if Chris Jericho wins this title on Dynamite, I'm turning off my television next week. Don't give Chris Jericho this title.
He doesn't need it. It's not going to help him. It's not going to help the brand. Ooh.
I know.
Go
I'm
on.
just like,
Yeah.
So, okay. So because we had this Chris Jericho thing talking about the ladder war, of course, ROH has to phone in whatever we're talking about the week in the whole AEW umbrella of things, because then we get another rewind match. This is the third week in a row. Honestly, it takes away from the programming that we're watching, and they're just padding it out, which is ridiculous. But I wasn't mad at this one because I love everybody involved in this one, because this was back in 2018. This was for the ROH World Tag Team Championships in a ladder war, in which we saw the Briscoes, which was Mark, and rest in power to his brother Jay. So this was Mark and Jay taking on the very young Bucks.
The extra young Bucks.
The extra young Bucks of Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, taking on the, now no longer together, but SoCal Uncensored, which is now in TNA, but Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. A very young Scorpio Sky, might I add too. I'm like, oh, this man's a baby. It's kind of crazy. There's nothing I can say that hasn't been already said for the rewind matches that we've gotten in the last couple of weeks. It just is there to pad out the episode, which frustrates me to no end. I will say I did like this one because I'm like, oh yeah, this is fantastic. But again, does it need to be here on ROH regular television? It was a
great match.
I don't
6
think so.
years ago.
I know. I'm like, what is
I don't even watch them anymore. I scroll through because my time is valuable, and I don't want to be caught watching reruns when I can just go do that myself. I'm focused on the now and the future of ROH. It's good to respect the past, but at this point, if you're going to do this every single week, it's going to be a bore, and people are going to go, "Oh man, look how good it used to be." Stop focusing on the past. Stop investing your time there, and start investing on what you have currently. Focus on the present so your future is set.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed this match, but again,
no, you are wrong.
Fine.
Everything's wrong.
Fine, Jesse. Be that way. I'm just kidding. I love you, Jesse.
I've had enough to hear with you.
I know. How dare you? No, but I agree with you. As much as I enjoy watching these rewind matches, it doesn't play into what we are currently watching with the current roster and the current day of things. Yes, ROH has that history, but it doesn't help with what we are doing. I'm just like, oh, hell no. I can't do this anymore. I have resigned to the fact that this is probably a thing that is going to be happening for the foreseeable future. So I just have to get over it. But we do end up getting to our main event after this. By the way, this was like a 35, 40-minute match. I'm like, you could have given this more time to other matches. We could have had more women on the show. You know, I'm just saying. But after this, we do get into our main event for this week's episode, which is an ROH Women's Championship Proving Ground match, in which we have Athena with bestie Lexi Nair taking on Lady Frost. And I still find it funny that now Athena and Lexi are going to come down to the ring handcuffed together, which is so stupid, and I love it so much.
I'm a little disappointed they didn't wrestle the match handcuffed together.
I wanted that too, Jesse. I was just like, yes, have Lexi like be on the outside, like getting yanked by the chain and everything. Did I know Athena was going to win? Absolutely. But Lady Frost is so damn good. And I just want her to finally get a good win on ROH television.
Yeah, I would like Lady Frost to win. I understand why she didn't here, and I understand why the match didn't have more time, because that's kind of the concept of Proving Ground matches. You've only got 10 minutes. But the match itself was great. There was a few high spots that looked solid. Like they've clearly got great chemistry together. I'd like to see a proper feud between the two of them for the title, or just not for the title. Let's say, somebody else beats Athena and we move on, but I'd like to see a feud between the two of them because they work really well together. I think the part of this match that I enjoyed the most, and I think was the most telling about this story moving forward, is lack of interruption and nothing from Billy.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just like...
And like I said 3 weeks ago, hashtag Team Billy.
Mm-hmm. She means it when she says that she's so over Athena and Lexi, and that rift is going to continue. So, of course, as we said, Athena does tick up the win with a crossface. And Athena tried to attack Lady Frost after the match, as Athena tends to do with her opponents. But then the Living Dead girl themselves, their Abaddon's music hits, which then causes Athena to grab Lexi and to run as the broadcast ends with them running. And like trying to get the hell out of a Dodge as well. I was like, Abaddon is lurking in the shadows. We are hopefully getting ever so closer to the eventual match with Athena and Abaddon. But Jesse, that brings us to the end of this Honor Club episode for ROH. So I know it was 2 hours, but we got through that thing in like 30 minutes. So final empanada ratings. What do you give this week's ROH?
I'm going on the high side. As much as I didn't like all the squashes in the beginning, most of this stuff made me, minus a few things here and there, most of it made me happy. I was entertained. I enjoyed my time. I'd give it a 7.
You know what? I wholeheartedly agree with you too, because that's the exact same score I gave. So on our social medias, I do weekly recaps now. I gave this a solid B, which is a 7, on my conversion scale of it, because I don't give anything lower than a C-. D's and F's don't exist on my grading scale for wrestling, unless it's truly awful. But then there has to be extenuating
you would not have different wrestling skills, because I've definitely given a few F's.
That is very true. But in my scale goes from A+ to C- unless it deserves a D or an F. I don't think anything is inherently bad, but 2024 has thrown some curveballs my way, so it could be happy. But I definitely give this a 7 out of 10. I thought there was a lot of fun matches. I had a great time watching all of this. I'm still not a big fan of the rewind matches that we're getting, but it seems that they're going to be staying until further notice. So I just need to accept it and accept my fate with it. But there was a lot of good stuff. And, some of our faves got wins, like AR Fox picked up a victory. Love seeing Brian Cage as our new ROH champ. Briscoe is still here. He beat Jericho.
He's still here.
Well, Briscoe is here. He's still our champion. I'm going to be honest, as much as I don't like Briscoe's lack of appearance on ROH television, at least he is not Chris Jericho holding this title, which I hope he beats Jericho in this ladder war match this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite, because I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ready for Chris Jericho to be in ROH.
Nope, I'm good.
I was like, I didn't like it when he was here the last time, which wasn't that long ago. Keep him out of here.
I loved him in WCW. I liked most of his runs in WWE. After then, it's just been okay. I've had enough.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, whatever. We're done. But Jesse, bring it in. We got to observe the code of honor to end our review tonight. And that brings us to the end of this week's Biconic Review of Honor, the bro, for this week's ROH Honor Club episode. I'm not gonna lie. We are, for the next 24 hours at least, we are officially done with this week's reviews. And then it begins all over again on Sunday. So we get a little bit of a breather. There is no TNA review this week because my tag team partner in Will is currently gearing up to do Tech Week for his play at his college. So any theater person knows that is basically hell week for the rest of us in sports athletics terms. So he's preoccupied tonight, but we will be back next week with the TNA Go Home review before Bound for Glory, which is also gearing up to be fun. But this Sunday, we will be kicking things off with a new week of wrestling with our WWE review. And then you can catch myself and Will later that evening doing a watch-along for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling's Forged in Excellence. There's going to be a lot of ROH and AEW crossover. Athena is putting her title on the line against the iconic wrestler herself, Giselle Shaw. I think is going to be good.
You just made me so mad there. When you said putting it up against the icon, I thought you were going to say Iconics, and I got really excited.
I know. I mean, they have said that they'd be willing to return, so who knows? It might not be out of the realm of possibilities. But Athena will be taking on Giselle Shaw, defending the ROH Women's Championship, which I think is going to be fantastic. Even though it's not ROH related, I am excited, though, to see Konosuke Takeshita defend his new championship against Josh Alexander. It's going to be a fun night. But that's going to be it for the bro. Me and Jesse got to get up on out of here. So for myself and Jesse, also known tonight as Bruno Sammartuna himself, and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you with another week of wrestling reviews soon. But until then, sayonara, adios, and we got to do the Billy Starks outro. Blah.